This video was made at request from my friend Ruby. Happy birthday, Ruby. So, StarFox. This is a game series I've never actually gotten into, but I've been asked enough times to get into it that I decided, okay, I'll try it at least once. And what was my ultimate verdict? This should not have been on the SNES. Okay, so let's begin with some of the positive stuff. I really liked the music of this game. I thought that the music really fit the vibe of everything that was going on, and it was just good music. I liked a lot of the character interactions we got to see. I liked that when you shoot one of your allies, they actually say, hey, don't do that. As for everything else, I'm either mixed or negative on it, but that's the case, so this was very early on in the franchise, and a lot of this stuff they were still trying to figure out. Graphics? Total case of being on the SNES. I'm not gonna like tell them off or anything like that for that. Honestly, it's really fucking impressive this runs on the SNES at all. Of course, that's thanks to the Super FX chip, but different story for a different day. I also like the structure of the game. The fact that there are 3 paths you can take that all lead to different scenarios. I like that. And I like that you have to pick it from right at the beginning instead of, say, midway through the level. Of course, this does mean you have to keep replaying the first same level over and over again, which is something they probably could have avoided with this 3-level structure. But I also get that Cone Area, or whatever the first level was called, was more so just set up and, well, they naturally were, so it makes sense from a story perspective to start there. So, what's my biggest issue with this game? The lag. Now, yes, this is very impressive for a SNES game. And I should mention, I'm playing this on the SNES emulator on Nintendo Switch Online. Why is that important? Well, I don't know if NSO was doing some glitching or something, but this game was not running well for me, which led to a lot of issues of just not being able to move as I needed to. Combine that with the definitively wonky hit detection, and I felt like a lot of the time my shots just were not connecting. Because of that, I kinda had to make heavy use of the rewind feature. Now, here's the thing. When we're not in dogfights and we're just flying around having to avoid obstacles and everything, that's when I feel this game works at its best. Because when we're in the middle of a dogfight, I can't say I have the most funnest time ever. I will say though, the bosses are pretty fun. They're difficult and have some really weird rules that you need to learn, but they're pretty fun, I'll say. So, short video, I know, but I also just don't have a lot to say on this game because it's not really too much to say. This isn't one of those games where I'm going to give a run-by-run like I did with FNAF Security Breach Ruin, or we'll probably do a Secret of the Mimic. As for how I ultimately feel about this game, if you put it on a system that wasn't the SNES, a system that had some proper horsepower behind it that could actually pull this off, I think this would be a lot better of a game. But as it stands, it's the lag and the terrible hit detection. That is the only things holding this game back in my mind. Actually, no, there's also the first person segments. Because I can't see my ship, it is really hard to tell whether or not I'm actually being shot at, which makes dodging and avoiding stuff really hard. I thought I'd throw that in there right now just while I'm on this segment, but yeah. Very small review of StarFox, but that's just because I ultimately don't have much to say. It's left a bigger impact and I feel those other games are going to have something big behind them. But as for this game, this is about all I can get out of it. So, I'll talk to you guys next time. Until then, take care. Bye!